Okay, we are live. Hello everyone, I am Sachin from India. I am the host of IYC Out of the Box podcast series. We have very special guest today with us, Vishal Thakare from India only. Currently, he is studying in University of Austin, Texas, and I would like to introduce about him right now. So, Vishal Thakare is the first generation graduate from Dalit socially marginalized community of India. Growing up in small town, he began teaching early on while he was undergraduate student and realized the need and gap in the mentoring first generation graduates needs. While pursuing his own studies at different institutions, both in India and globally, Vishal has been actively mentoring and engaging in capacity building of youths from marginalized communities. Currently, he is a student in communication studies at University of Texas Austin. Previously, he has studied in Germany and Mumbai and have taught for 3 years at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, and have been involved in initiatives that train marginalized youths for higher education. So, on the behalf of IYC Youth Podcast, Vishal, we welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Great. So, would you like to tell about yourself, your childhood, you growing up?
Uh, yeah, I think these questions require a lot of time, but yeah, I'll be brief, like
Yeah.
because I think what shapes or determines your life in India is your social location and growing up, like being born into one of the socially marginalized. Like since this podcast is also catering to international audiences, so they should know that I was born in a Dalit community, which is one of the most deprived community in India. But due to constitutional provisions and some safeguards that have offered them opportunities, and they are able to get
Actually,
and
not
living
able to
there.
hear you. Can you just repeat for last 10 seconds?
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. I might have some internet interruptions, so I don't know because my house does not have a proper bandwidth. So I think you might have to bear with this. So, but I think it's not that bad, right?
Yeah, we can hear you well. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I was born into a Chamar caste, and my father and mother hardly went to university. So
Right.
they have not completed their schooling, so we did not have any such background like of higher education at our house. And like growing up in a very limited income family, we had very limited means at our disposal. Even like paying for the tuition, like private tuition, was a big challenge for us. And like I had to fight with my father that I wanted to get some additional coaching for my 10th standard exam, but my father did not have a money, so I had to fight for it. And on
Right.
my own, like I explored the educational opportunities, and I was always fascinated by uh, like big figures like Abdul Kalam and scientists, prominent scientists in India, and rational beliefs like education is the only instrument through which actually we can achieve some social upward mobility. And yeah, that has motivated me, and one of the biggest motivation in my life was the champion rights and like social justice. So yeah, my life has been like full of circumstances, positive, negative, but it's been to define it in a very like one word, it has been a full of struggle. So struggle for
Right.
cultural capital, mentoring, money, and even basic necessities. So I think that is what has shaped my circumstances and how to confront these circumstances and find ways out of it. So yeah, that's been my life. I had to work part time and all, and this is why I took up the part time job in like night college at very early
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
I was working at cafe, uh, attending college in daytime like 10 to 5, and 5 to 10, 12 I was working as a waiter in cafe coffee day, and or my supported myself because my family was unable to fully support me. And I had that ambition of going for civil service exam in India, like which is like a top
Yeah.
exam. And then I later on I shifted as I developed my interest in teaching, and then I decided to pursue a career in teaching and research. So I was fascinated by economics first, and then later on I changed my disciplines like as I got the opportunities.
Correct. Yeah. So I would like to know, this transition was not that easy because when we say we are coming for first generation learning as a graduate, also we face many difficulties.
Hmm.
So would you like to share what was the main difficulties that you had in your this journey?
I think there are many difficulties. The major first difficulty in India, especially if you're born into socially marginalized location, is lack of uh, knowledge to higher education. Like, what are the ways, what are the institutions, and what sort of education you actually need. So we were forget about training part of it. So I have been personally involved in telling and disseminating the message that these are the institutions that you need to go to and uh, get education there, because there is a hell lot of underrepresentation of these communities at this prominent institutions, and mostly elites, social elites in India or upper castes in India are beneficiaries of these institutions. So lately, uh, students from these communities have been entering and making their presence felt, articulating their voices and politics there. So this was the major, like, lack of knowledge, unawareness of the institutions that offer higher quality education. And then second thing was training for it, because in India English is a very class and major. English has a class and caste attribute. So if you don't know English, people mock you, people make fun of you, and at these institutions, you are judged based on your language knowledge, not based on how much you know and real knowledge you have. So yeah, English was the main hurdle, and it's the main hurdle for many of the first generation, because
Yeah.
I have been actively involved in this sector for almost more than 10 years now. And people develop inferiority complex just because they don't know, like, they don't speak proper English, but they have lot to say in the classes. So I have taught for almost more than 6 years, and many of the students I have taught to had a brilliant confidence, different perspective, insights from the way they are coming from, villages they're coming from, and the regions they're coming from. They had a lot to contribute, but just because of the lack, the confidence, that superiority of English, the rule of English kind of prevented them, or they self withdrew from the
Right.
classroom discussion.
Yeah. 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 Actually,
And then
these things.
there are many.
Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. You saying something?
Money is the
Yeah.
another problem, because even if you get secure admissions in, suppose if you are going to Bangalore, if you're going to Delhi or Mumbai, coming to city like Mumbai, for me, like, I can share my one experience, because I studied at Tata Institute, and I did not apply to Tata Institute just thinking that how will I support my living in Mumbai. And I did not know that Tata Institute offers some scholarship to, like, SC/ST students. So first year I didn't apply just because I saw the fees. It was 30,000, and I was unable to I mean, like it was outside my imagination that 30,000 per semester is too much. 30,000 is like almost $500, and my father had an income of $100 per month, so it was very difficult for me to imagine and step outside my situation. So yeah, money, that cultural capital, and English, I would say, is one of the biggest hurdle for first generation.
Right. I think English and you also talk about the language that you had in your city, maybe in Amravati. But when you
Mhm.
move to another city, they have this superiority or maybe supremacy from the different peoples. They don't
Yeah.
accept easily the students coming from Marathwada, Vidarbha, because you know the situation also. So how did you
Yes.
find to cope up with this situation in Bombay? City like Bombay, then you also moved to Germany, you also taught to again in TIS, and right now you are in USA. So I think there is a long transition in yourselves also. But how did you get a good understanding of it and overcome on these situations? Would you like to share that?
Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always a struggle when you are at a place where dominant rules are at the game, and you have to navigate that. So, of course, you have to put in efforts and also create your support networks. So, I think for me, the biggest help or support that has been crucial for me to actually improve my academics has been a community networks at at the institute level and university spaces. So that has been greatly supportive in terms of providing some mentoring, uh, providing boosting some confidence, if not like training as such, but boosting confidence is also important because you are new to these institutions and you feel you feel alienated, subordinated, subjugated at every step in these institutions. So I think then you have to navigate these spaces and then find your own people who are helping and discuss and talk to teachers. So you have to be fearless sometimes, and that complex has to be. I think you have to give up that complex, or you have to overcome on that complex. And I think I kind of tried to do that, but still I had that at some point of at the back of my mind. And yeah, I used to listen to English. I used to listen the Hollywood movies and watch subtitles. That's how I improve my English. And I had subscribed Times of India. I used to read every word, sentence formation, and but still I feel like my English is not that good because my other friends from Delhi University and other good colleges to be very fluent in articulating their voices, their concerns, their questions in the class, and I used to feel like uh, I lack something always. So I think that I overcame gradually as I explored more. Because when I went outside, I did not see language as one of the major measure of your intellect, because I saw Germans speaking very bad English. Like, I think I don't want to say bad, but they were just talking. But and like I in my class, there were people who were not their first language was not English, so they were just talking in the way they can. Uh, and I felt like okay, I can express myself better and I have better points. So it's about like it's not about how much fluently you speak. It's about what you speak, how do you argue, and what for you speak. I think that's what my concern or my motivation has been. And yeah, I think and a student movement in the university spaces. Let's say like I have been associated with Ambedkar Student Association. So I think these student organizations help you in a way think critically, support you in various ways so that you can uh, navigate university spaces successfully even when you are down. Because I personally have supported so many students who wanted to leave the institutions just because they were finding it so hard to sustain at these spaces. So these universities are problematic. uh, uh, because there is no support mechanism and even peer networks and all. So we have to find our own support, our own, create our own network, our own
Yeah.
people, and that helps a lot.
Yeah. This university culture, maybe the students union, there are a couple of students union, but when it comes to, we need to find right one, because there are many. Some of them work as a leader there, but not help students who come from marginalized communities. They are like more like, you stand with us, you come for the so-called march and all that, but when it comes to basic support, they don't come forward. Did you had any
Yeah.
such experience in your life? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no mainstream student organization like some progressive student organization, quote unquote, and there are many other student organizations. They never cater to our needs. They were interested in their politics and using us for the vote bank and pushing their politics on. And we were always like, we did not relate to their politics, and since they did not cater to our needs. So that's why, if you also look at the history of alternative or some critical student organization coming up
Yeah.
in the university spaces, you see a particular trajectory, and that has played a role in terms of the support they offer to the students. So yeah, I have been part of the student organization that started offering support to students who were from these communities, because we did not find any sort of connection with the student organization that were already working. So they did not bothered about, I mean, like, sympathy is good, but you have to
Right.
empathize with the people and also see that their needs are met, and also institutionally have some initiatives so that they feel supported. Student organization is not about just raising the political issue. It's, of course, is one of their main agenda, but what is politics for student organizations of marginalized communities is first to
Right.
ensure that have a they have a supporting enabling environment at the university spaces. And there are many factors, class, gender, that creates an hostile environment for students coming from these communities. So you have to make sure that students feel supported, student feel inclusive. And yeah, that's how I think uh, organizations
Yeah.
have played a bigger role for me, and I have contributed also to these organizations. So, and
Correct.
because they pass on the their traditions, and like getting involved into organizing many things, lectures, it kind of gives you a sense of involvement, and also make you aware of the politics and socio-cultural things that you come from and you relate with. So
Right.
if you tell me that, uh, like, alternative perspective, Gandhi was everything, but there were some people who were fighting for some other important things like untouchables, right? And make
Yeah.
you make your conscious awaken that time. So I think, yeah, this student organization help you in many ways, and sometimes financially also. People pull in money, people go out, eat together, because you can't afford to go out in a good fancy restaurant with your other colleagues who do not have problems to actually hang out in some fancy restaurants and doing some
Yeah.
clubbing. I have never
Right.
done clubbing in my master's days because I could not afford it, and I did not have friends to go out. Those who took me also. So, yeah,
Correct.
I think this class inequalities is pretty much visible, and it's because of the Indian social structure, and that we have like caste-based social hierarchy.
Right. I would like to know right now. Books plays a important role, right,
Yeah.
in our life. Like, would you like to share when did you start reading about social issues and the biographies of social, figures? Like, we have important personalities in India, like Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Phule, Periyar, and all that. Would you like to share about that?
Yes, sure. I think one of the biggest influence on my life has been Dr. Ambedkar, and not in that way, but also when I imagine him as in his 20s, like I was always fascinated like how he would be in his student life. And he has written a small book, Waiting for Visa, which is a kind of a very brief biography of his life, like his own biography, where he mentions the very unwanted caste based experience that he had to go through, or he was made to go through, despite of the like biggest like acknowledge he achieved from the world renowned universities. So I was like very much impressed by his life and his struggle and what he did for the community. So yeah, that was my one of the first earlier like reading. And then I also read couple of like I was also inspired by Abraham Lincoln and his quotes, because there used to be a lot of stories around him. And I also grew up reading some inspirational motivational books, but then I later on I realized that these motivational books doesn't help you much in life. It gives you a temporary relief, but real books are different one. Then I read Fule. I also read some science fiction book, Jayant Naradikar. Abdul Kalam's book was very famous that time, Wings of Fire. Then social books I was already reading some Marathi literature, anti-caste literature.
Yeah,
Yeah, and some history I used to like. I had a history in my undergrad, history and political science, and I was fascinated by political science also. How comparative constitution looks like around the world. What are the political system that governs? And then history, I had a very one view of history, like which was the dominant narration perspective of history. But when I read some critical perspectives on history, I realized that history cannot be imagined only in one way. There are
yeah,
many ways to imagine history. What you see in like Dandi March and what you see in Mahar's Satyagraha is totally different, and the way it is portrayed in the mainstream or in our textbooks are
yeah,
completely different. There's always a politics of it. So yeah, these books has been there are many books, but to
yeah.
mention few, I think these books have been an lasting influence on me.
Right. I think subaltern voices always been not get chance to uh, come the so-called main culture. So like many peoples only talk about the history, which is about the war, but they don't talk about the caste atrocities and issues that has been there for many
Yeah.
communities. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than books, what did you find like that is inspires you? Maybe any song or something. What inspires you in your in this journey? Yeah.
I think movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a habit of watching movies on every Friday since that was introduced to me by one of my teacher. I think that the question that you asked probably next. So he used to take me and for a movie every Friday, and I was like, why do we watch movies on Friday? And then my professor used to say that movies are the reflection of society, and you should watch it. You get to know what is happening in society, and what shit is there, what is good side is there, and what is bad side is there. So yeah, that's why. And then I started. I developed this habit, and there are good movies. There are really good movies that leaves impact on you, and it lasts sometimes longer, and you feel inspired from it. So yeah, some good some movies like Three Idiots when I was young, so it was very inspiring from me. Of course there is critical dimension to it later on, I realize,
Right.
but uh, like movies has been a great inspiration for me. And yeah, I think also I explore I relate myself with sometimes, like how people overcome their struggles, how people find ways to beat hurdles and obstacles in their life. And yeah, I mean movies and art also has been inspiring for me. because art forms has an very like it is very powerful to actually change the perception of you and society. How do you see the world, right? It has an power to actually alter your consciousness, like because the way, and there is a lot of scope to imagination, because in academics sometimes you can't imagine, you can't write out of imagination, you have to be very logical, rational when you do academics. So I think movies and art forms offers you that space to imagine, go wild, and also think outside the box, what you guys like, out of the box,
Yeah, yeah, out
right?
of the
So
box, right.
yeah,
Hmm.
so that's, I think, yeah, movies has been a great source of
Great.
support.
So Vishal, we would like to know, like, so you studied in Amravati, then you moved to Bombay, then you went to Germany, and right now you are in USA studying, right? So how
Hmm.
was your experience at different places? Like experience, like the cope up with the socio cultural environment around and all that. Because in India we face many difficulties. So did you find the same difficulties in abroad also? Would you like to share?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, Indian experience was, of course, full of difficulties, and of course, what some good time. Abroad experiences has been very pleasant for me, and of course, some moments of struggle. Especially, but what distinguishes, what separates overseas experiences from India is like people are not interested in evaluating you based on your social location or the background you're coming from. Of course, there might be some incident where you feel discriminated based on race and some other thing. But in academia, I think people want to listen to you, and there is a sense of belongingness to the classroom, and people are valuing your opinions. People don't dismiss. People create that space of participation wherein you don't feel like your opinions are not valued there, or the dismissal is not there. So I think that was the main point of difference for me. And yeah, Europe was very, I mean, like, it has a history. I have roamed a bit because it offers you opportunity to mingle with different culture. In my class itself, there were 19 people, like almost like 18 people from 18 different countries. So I got to know different culture, different language, and we used to hang around. So that exposure was it educates a lot. Cultural relativism, what we call, like, what is culture may not be
Right,
right in other cultures. So you learn a lot the way they preach freedom, and their education system is pretty open. Of course, there is an history of colonization, but yeah, we need to also keep that in mind when we talk about like history and European education system, because I think that's important to understand.
right, right,
Indian education system is pretty, and one of the most important is like university is supportive financially also. So I think I have been awarded scholarship almost all the programs I have been to, and that was most easiest, like enabling for me to explore things on my own, because financial support was there, and because of that only I could go and imagine that I could study here. And biggest thing that happened in my life, I think, I get to know the thinkers, the theories that has changed the world. So I think studying in a Germany where Marx was born in and some big thinkers were born in, I think that was really a privilege that these guys were sitting here and writing things down, and I could go to their libraries and kind of understand those things. Was an enriching experience. Uh, US system is also pretty good, but it's very intensive. Uh, and yeah, I mean, like, you also get, you in that intensive system, you groom yourself
Yeah.
in terms of skilling, in terms of academic knowledge and critical thinking. So yeah, these are the things that have been like my experiences in terms of shaping my personality. And I think I am not complete, I'm still learning a lot.
Yeah,
uh,
that's a journey for everybody right now, right? But so I would like
yeah.
to ask you one more question on the same note. So many students don't feel like to I will go to abroad, or maybe they don't think to cross the boundaries of district, right? So
Hmm.
what did you find, like how do you see these things? Like, would you like to share why it is important to cross the boundaries, go beyond the lines, and see words differently, and get socio-economic cultural capital that we want, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I would recommend everybody to get out of their comfort zone. And now, what is our comfort zone is always our own home, because we don't want to get invite discomfort for ourselves, and nobody wants to do that. But it is the discomfort that actually makes you learn many things in your life, because otherwise you cannot learn, right? So even if you want to learn swimming, you have to get into water. You can't learn swimming without getting into water. Biking, it's the same thing. So, and comfort zone is very tempting, because we don't want to give it up socially, like, because we have our friends, we have family, and we don't want to kind of compromise that for some degree. So it's a choice that you have to make, and once you make the choice, I think there is a lot to, there's a great opportunities in front of you, and waiting for you. So that makes you like, you can embark on those opportunities and add value to your personality. So I was always fascinated by this Tolstoy story, wherein Tolstoy, people goes to Tolstoy and ask the question that, why should we get education? And then he answers, it's like, I don't know, horse has something metal in his, it's called nal, we call घोड्याच्या पायाची नाल in Marathi. So he said, like, if you take a like piece of iron and then make a weapon out of it and sell it into market, it will acquire some, you will get some money. And then eventually he says, like, if you make some, like the horse thing out of it, then you'll make more money. That's how education is, like, it adds value to your personality, and step by step. So I think, yeah, and comfort zone, getting out of comfort zone actually makes you, brings the beauty out of you, because that's what human beings are made for. Like, I have read many stories. Recently, I watched a movie. It's called Society of Snow, which is based on real incidents in 1972, where in the plane crash, and these people survived for 72 days without food, and they had to eat like their own people. And like, I was like, how can this happen? And people did not experience something like that. So I think we're pretty privileged in terms of that, that we cross boundaries, that we learn about things, we learn about culture, we unlearn about many things, that, and closeness does not make you aware of the world. So once you are in your own close boundaries, it's good to define boundaries, but it's not good to get stuck in boundaries sometimes, because that has a lot of disadvantages for you. Because once you close yourself, you're also closing yourself in and out, and
Yeah.
that prevents you from knowing people, learning good new things, learning theories. And yeah, I mean, like, that's important.
Yeah, so many times what happens, people don't know the information also, right? They lack of information, or
Hmm.
some of the people like don't share the things because they don't want to sometime, right? They want to be like some
Hmm.
communities should stay back at house, I mean at a village, and do the generational things. So what will be the message for
Yeah.
them from your side? What, so like, would you like to share on that? Yeah.
You mean changing your generational occupations
Yeah, yeah,
or
generation,
things
not a
that is
generation
not necessary?
occupation. You mention about the scholarship that help you out, but many people
Hmm.
don't know. They said where we will get support for money, for accommodation, for
Hmm.
different support system, right? So like for
Yeah.
them, I'm asking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, crying is always a choice that we make. It's so you have to make a choice of crying, or you want to make efforts for finding solutions for which you are crying. So nowadays, I feel like excuse should not be there, because earlier, what was the case, the information was not easily available. It was concentrated, uh, or kind of hijacked, in the hands of few. So uh, like going abroad, what is the process, we did not even know. Because I have like, I can share this, of course. I have a friend who was from a privileged caste. His father went to US for PhD in 1983 in Rutgers, in some very big university, and he was from privileged Brahmin caste. So and my father never went to university. So, and this is the reality for you also, I guess. Like,
Yes,
our
yes. Yeah.
fathers or even forefathers never went to any college. So
Correct.
how do you expect that that kind of knowledge or cultural capital that access others have and we don't have? So we have to make our life on your own. So I think that's what I decided to go for. And there were a lot of risk involved into it, because you are compromising many things. You're giving up on your town, your hometown that you love, and your parents. You stay away from your family, and but at the same time, you you are ambitious, right? So what makes us alive is to live for our ambitions, right? To transform ourselves from a person to and something that we enjoy and we really value for or we desire for, right? So I think, yeah, I chose to do that, and I kept on like researching myself, finding avenues where I can get the opportunities. And in this journey, it's not that I got things very easily. I did not even know what is SOP. I did not even know what is JRE. I did not even know what is ILTS. Everything we had to do start from the scratch. But nowadays, when I see people know what is GRE, so there is a knowledge that has been already passed on, and there are many institutions like Nalanda, and I have been personally involved into many initiatives that have supported or trained youths from these communities, wherein we are passing this knowledge uh, without any reservations. Like we are not being selective there, that we are you guys in our competition. Of course the competition will be there, but that's a community consciousness that we always have to carry forward, because once you
Yeah.
grow collectively, I think it adds more value than individual accomplishment, right? So yeah, I mean, and that's what you makes you difference, like, because if you don't choose to struggle, choose to take risk, and choose to find ways on your own, nobody's going to come. People will meet you on the way to support, but nobody is going to come and feed you like ready-made food. Okay, you are from this community and you don't know anything, and okay, take this and go this.
Yeah.
And that is also not like, that doesn't give you sense of satisfaction
Yeah.
or achievement, because what comes to you out of struggle and pains and difficult times that you have been through, it's something worth cherishing and beautiful, that you feel for and you take pride in yourself. Okay, I'm there. I have done things. I have seen things, and then you feel proud about yourself, and others can also feel proud about yourselves. Because when people see me as an ideal example, I'm as an inspiration, even one or two, I think that's an achievement. That you if
Yeah,
people are, even one or two people are inspired from you where you are,
yeah,
I think that's good for you. I think it gives you a
you
sense of being something.
yeah, you are creating an impact in these two lives, which is gonna larger extent impacting the whole generation. So I mean, that's the biggest thing. And what you said, that is very correct. Like people who want to be like spoon feeding, that should not be there.
Yeah.
We know there are issues there, we know the difficulties at their own level, but we should find a ways to get out of it, not to say or not to cry on that same thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Vishal, we also would like to know any favorite teacher or professor that made a biggest impact in your life. Would you like to share about them? Yeah.
There are a couple teachers, but one of them is my undergrad teacher, who was my political science teacher, and his name is Sukhdev, Dr. Sukhdev. He's in Kolhapur University now. So yeah, I think he taught me how to dream and aspire for things which is not close to you, like, because I think the idea of foreign education, going abroad, was never into my imagination. I never thought about it. I was preparing for civil services, I told you. But then he was the person who told me, like, you can go outside. And that time, like, it was never ever close, not even closer to what we were doing. I was studying in Amravati University, which is not very famous and known for ugly things also, bad practices. And yeah, he told us many stories of his friends who went outside and studied and successfully accomplished in their life. And that's how I started dreaming about, okay, we can also do that. And he introduced us to them, and he still invite me to talk to his students, so that goes on. And such kind of teachers are very important, because at these early stages, especially when you are into your formative years, like you are now, so these formative years are crucials in your life, because that's what, in these years only, you make your choices, what shapes your life. Like masters, doing masters and going for good universities. If I have had not teachers like him, I would have never imagined or thought about going for, like, even taking admission in Tata Institute, for that matter. Of course, my own efforts were there, but you always need that push and appreciation. You look for recognition, you desire for valued recognition, and teachers do that because they see value in your work, they appreciate you, and that's what motivates you to aspire things and have ambitions on your own. So yeah, and he was the only person who taught me to watch the movies, like who took me to movies. So it was not teacher, it's student
Yeah.
relationship. We we went more than that, and we are still friends and teachers. So, like, now I have gone far ahead, like I have seen the world, and he is still there. I mean, like, he, of course, he has also moved forward, but we have not, kind of, we are still in touch, we talk. And whenever I seek any advices, I need any advices in my life issues, I still reach out to him, and he still guides me. So yeah, I think, and he was the person who introduced me to Ambedkar also. So yeah, he has been a long lasting impact on me, because Ambedkar, like, getting introduced to these crucial figures is also, you get introduced to these figures because mainstream doesn't teach you about these figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that matters, like who are you spending your time with. And that helps you a lot, like in terms of thinking, in terms of vision, setting up your own vision. Yeah.
Vishal, so like it's been a very long journey for you also. So there
Hmm.
has been a social and cultural event that happened in your life. So would you like to share how they change your, to see society in a different way? There are a couple of social and cultural event you also gone through in your journey. Would you like to share about that?
Yeah, yeah. You mean like how I look at the society and the events that shape?
Yeah, that shape your life also, right? I mean, there are a couple of things happens around us. Many times it shows a way, many times it is like also about we get depressed about it, like what is happening around, but we still try to make out a way from it, right?
Yeah,
So yeah. Hmm.
I think yeah, it was not any singular event that changed my life. I would say because my life was full of event every day. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
grew up in a family where my father was alcohol addicted and there used to be a lot of violence, and so I had to go and take him, pick him from the roads and drop him home. So that was always a undesirable and shameful thing that you have to do because your others are watching you, and it's an embarrassing moment for you. Your dad is on the road and you have to pick him up. I made a post. I had posted about it lately, and that post very went very viral. That I was a son of a drunkard, like alcohol addicted father, and now that is it's the same son that I used to pick my dad from the roads and drop him home, and now it's the same person who is teaching at the world renowned university. I was teaching at UT last year. I also teach now. So I imagine myself from that situations to where am I now, and I see a big change. I am not saying that I have accomplished many things. I am still into. I am still struggling. I am still doing things in my life that I mean like that will shape my circumstances in future also because after PhD I have to get a job and there are many things, right? So but that change, the same guy from small university, from a family where everything was like messed, nothing was pleasant, and I used to be scared of my father because every evening when he would come, there would be some disturbances at house. So I was never excited for my father to come home because it was bad. So I think yeah. So I don't think there is one singular
yeah.
instances, and
There
there are
are
many
many.
instances. Like yeah.
Hmm.
So I think it's about what your life is, where are you, and what you see, and I don't want to kind of prioritize one incident over another. I think your life gives you every moment to learn and relearn from, and that's what you should value. And you should, if I had to complain about it, then I had that option also, but
Yeah,
I did not keep on complaining about it. And
yeah,
yeah, even when I was studying, I used to get stories from my father, like my father did this today,
yes,
and it's disturbing when you are away from your homes, even when you are abroad. It's disturbing. So and you have to lead the family, you have to take care of your family, so you can't just cry about these things like
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
but what you need also is empathy, so you need some support while doing these things. I think that's important. And because that acknowledging the fact that you are going through these things while navigating your own ambitions of higher education is important, and we need that kind of support, and I did not have that kind of support because except friends, I mean like friends are the real assets, but what I see now in Europe and America, they have therapies, they have some sense of like counseling strategies and all to support students, and it's free, it's a university provided thing, so that you can go and seek out some help when you are going into crisis in your life. So and that trauma sometimes returns to you, and I have experienced that because if you don't work on that, I think it can come to you at any point of time and it burst. So I think that's important, that taking
Yeah.
care of your mental health is important, because personally we go through many things in our life and
Yeah.
we ignore
Yeah.
it, and but it's still there in our subconsciousness. So uh, yeah, these are the, like, I think it shapes you in a way to face the life. And life is not, it's not, it's fun, but it's also a fun full of struggle,
Yeah,
right?
but I must say, in full of struggle, what you said, every day we need to revive ourselves and start with the scratch. That is more important. But I would like to know, Vishal, we all very excited actually. So going with our own struggle, own journey, you supported many youths from India, right? So how was that journey? Would you like to share about them,
Hmm.
your journey with that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, yeah, I'm really glad to see you in this podcast also, because I have also seen
Yes.
you from the moment I think you were in one of my workshops,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
uh, so I can see the result in front of me. So, and I'm really glad
Exactly.
about it.
Yeah.
So the guy who were very curious about many things, excited about many things, is now sitting at international youth conference, got some degree, very like a master degree from reputed universities like APU. So result is in front of me, and I'm very glad about it. And there are many people like this, and I think the major motivation for me was that how can I share these things which I had to struggle for, and that requires a generosity. And practicing generosity in the field
Yeah.
where competition is very high, I think, and also time, because you contribute your time and you feel obligated for your society. You should feel obligated for the society you are coming from, because it is not that you are not because you are individual and because of your individual efforts. It is also because of the history that your community has gone through. And I have seen this not only in case of like Dalits in India, but also black community in US. So that cultural collective consciousness plays a very important role, because you need to celebrate your own achievements, even if it's a small incremental achievements, like learning good English or learning English, speaking English also should be celebrated within the community. And Dalit community do that. We have a, I think I have heard that there's a temple of English mother temple in northern India. So that's how you celebrate your small, because that's how you feel empowered about yourself. So after my MA, I think I got involved into these things, and individually I was doing, because I have been always passionate about, because you come from a small town and you always feel that okay, many people like me should come here also. You have your own community networks, and then you start mentoring. It's not that you are bringing competition for yourself, but it is also in a way that you contribute and pay back to society, what Ambedkar talks about. Like living is not all about yourself, it's also about how do you contribute to society and go back and help people after you achieve something in your life, right? So that's what I have been doing, and it's been an incredibly I mean, like, enriching and great experience for me talking to youths. I think I have talked to more than 5,000 youths. I would say I have never
Oh,
counted, but like been
number.
to many workshops. I have taught many years in like Tata Institute for 5 6 years, and been to many. You also get to travel a lot when you are involved into such kind of initiatives. You also get to learn a lot, because I met a person who was literally a girl from like small town or small village. She was unable to speak like even in her own language, from a tribal community. Now she's doing great. Like she was a SBI fellow, and she took her first flight. People in India, there are still a large number of people who haven't taken their first flight, and it's a pride feeling for them. So, and they celebrate it. It's and you should celebrate your first flight also, because whatever you are doing. Because I have seen people celebrate their first MacBook in indigenous culture, and in America, I had a friend. Like she celebrated. I bought my first MacBook, and I'm proud of it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like I never did that even I bought my MacBook. So yeah, I mean, like things we never had access to should be celebrated, and you get to learn a lot. You get to know the struggles that people are going through their life, and if you can support them in any ways, I think it's a sense of fulfilling that you get. That
Yeah.
okay, you're doing something meaningful, and it kind of decenters you. So decentering is important in such initiatives, and yeah,
So,
it keeps you.
in the era of competition, people's
Hmm.
get fees to support students from for different universities admission and all that, and like
Hmm.
you are still in the journey of studying, but parallelly you are helping out many students that you just mentioned. You have been like talk to more than 5,000 students. That's a big number. But would you like to
Hmm.
also share any story that inspires you to do these things parallelly in your journey? Yeah.
uh can you repeat the question? Like
So
I
yeah. So I'm saying in the time of competition, people ask so much amount to give the guidance and all that. But you're still studying and you are parallelly helping out the many
Hmm.
students in their journey. So do you have any specific story that inspires you? Okay, let's go back to the society, pay back to the society parallelly while studying in your own journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I still get many am I
Uh, can you repeat? We can't hear you.
am I audible now?
Yeah. We can talk. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I mean, yeah, you always never done, I guess, like whenever, whatever capacity or whatever stage you are, you're always, I mean, like, you should be always in a role of being socially connected. And that's what I find more pleasuring.
I think he has a little internet glitch. Uh, let's wait for a few minutes. Yeah. Hello everyone. Kindly wait for 30 seconds. He is joining again. Thank you for the cooperation. Welcome back, Vishal. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you please start where you ended?
Am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for interruption. Uh, yeah, to
Yeah.
answer your last question, uh, yeah, like, hello,
Haha, yes, go ahead, please. You are saying something?
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Vishal, can you hear me? Hello, everyone. He has a little network issue. Kindly wait for few minutes. Hello guys, once he come back, if you have any question, kindly drop in comments. We will try to make sure we will compile it and send it to the Vishal, so you can get the answer for that. We are waiting for him. He will join in. Yeah, some there is some network glitch, so yeah, we are waiting for him. Yeah. Yeah, welcome back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, would you like to share or should we move another question?
What was the question? I forgot.
So like it was about the story that inspires you to do work again at the grassroots. Yeah, while
I
parallel
don't think I
studying.
don't think I need a story because
Okay.
I come from a community where everybody is a story. So I just feel obligated for it. Like I feel it's my responsibility to go back because stories are for people who have privilege to actually
Yeah.
act for, like think to go
Yeah.
and act for the society. And I come from a social background where I don't think I need a story that this is the story that inspires me. I think it's a overall situation. It's people that were struggling, and yeah, it's your
Uh,
responsibility to go back and work
yeah.
for them.
It's more about the responsibility. It's more about the going back to the roots
Yeah,
and
yeah,
helping out those who are in the doing struggle since generation and
yeah.
generation. Yeah. So
Because yeah, it's not
Vishal,
something that you saw
yeah,
some poor person and you are inspired, and it's not something. Like that.
was that's the generalization of many people who like
Yeah,
why how you came into the social services and all that they
yeah,
share about that,
yeah.
but
That's
don't
very
do
mainstream
the
idea.
yes, yes, right, got it. So what are your like ongoing or upcoming commitment for the community? Like what will be the projects you want to do once you finish PhD? So you are doing a couple of things in your life, but still,
Hmm.
which is the main question you want to work on? Maybe it's like very abstract question, but yeah, still we would like to know.
Yeah, I am still associated with many community initiatives like supporting first generation people who are applying outside and also internally. Uh, yeah, I think my social engagement would be mostly about it, uh, like mentoring people and supporting them in whatever ways I can, like academically, if financially I can, if I'm in that position, also financially, and helping them write. Uh, Writing has been like one of the biggest challenge for our own people. So yeah, that's my like that's my, it's not like future plans, but yeah, I don't know how it will turn out, but currently what is going on, yesterday only I met someone and he invited me to talk to students more, like mostly on like 50 students and share my experiences and help them writing their SOPs and all. So, taking minor workshops and always being accountable for what I have been benefited for, right? So that's my
Right.
future plan. Like always, it does not have to be a one specific thing. I
Yes,
think
definitely.
it's always been there and it will be there wherever
I
I
will
am
say.
and whatever position I am in.
Mm, yeah, I think it's very important to bring that collective consciousness into the communities and grow together, right?
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
so what will so we are specifically, this podcast is for like special focus on global south. So what will be the message for them, like the person who is in Chad, or maybe Brazil, maybe Mexico, or maybe Melghat,
Hmm.
which is the most underdeveloped, underrepresented region. So what will be the message for that youth from you, and for overall other countries as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like coming from global south, we have some commonalities to to relate with, and because I personally have seen and experienced like people from other nationalities like Brazil, Latin America, Southern America, Africa. I have friends from I think all like across all these nationalities, and we always share this bonding of colonization and operation and kind of experiences that has one or two common points that we always bond on. So, and politics also, because global south has been always colonized, appropriated, exploited. So we also have to drive our own politics and also help each other in whatever ways we can. So such kind of initiatives like having a podcast. So we also learn about other people experiences, other people's hard times, and also some inspiring stories where people have actually beaten some social odds and uh, came where they are. So I think that's inspiring for everybody. Like it gives a sense of hope, sense of what you call living a life with full of struggle, and also find ways like have a hope to survive. And it's not survival but live a meaningful life. So yeah, I mean, like shared solidarities are important for global south, and if we have that solidarities of culture, solidarities of experiences, and recognizing each other, and it's enriching also. Like we learn a lot from learning about each other, like each cultures also. So yeah, sharing solidarities is important.
Sharing solidarity and growing together. So yeah,
Yeah.
so Vishal, also the I just want to one sentence question I want to ask. That will be four questions. So what is your favorite book? Which is your favorite book? Which is I know there are many, but yeah, would you like to share?
Right now,
Yeah, maybe right now, or maybe since beginning when you started reading.
my favorite book in terms of writing has been Alchemist.
Okay. What, which is your favorite movie?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay. Which is your favorite song?
There are many. Summer of '69.
Okay. And which is your which is your favorite social reformer?
Of course,
Yeah.
Dr. Ambedkar, Nelson Mandela. There are many. Like we should not.
Yeah. 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 Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Vishal, for taking us through your journey, struggles, ups and downs, and what you shared. That is really important for us and many. who is looking for that space, who is looking for that one way where they can come out from their
Hmm.
boundaries and go beyond the line. We are so happy to have with you today. Thank you so much once again. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, and I hope this goes on, and you guys have great people and great discussions. I really
Yeah.
wish you all the best for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, so shall I leave the meeting? Okay, thank you.